You know that feeling, that raw, burning energy of desire? Have you ever suspected it's, well, more than just about lust or physical pleasure? Like maybe it holds some kind of secret, a hidden power that you just never really learned how to use. We're going to dive right into that today because we're exploring a pretty radical idea from Carl Jung about what this energy is really all about.
So, it all really boils down to this one question. A question for you, really. Is that powerful force inside of you a problem, something you have to manage or suppress? Or could it actually be a portal to something way deeper, something truly transformative?
See, the thing is, most of us do one of two things with this energy. We either push it down or we just waste it. But there's a third option. A very rare few learn how to actually transform it. And it's not by denying it. It's by listening to it, by realizing that it holds a secret, a key to unlocking a deeper part of yourself, your soul.
All right, so to really get our heads around this, we have to start by reframing what we're even talking about. This is about seeing this energy as something so much more than just a simple, biological urge.
And this brings us to a huge concept from Jung, individuation. It's basically the process of becoming your true, undivided self. And Jung, he saw sexual energy as this incredibly powerful symbolic force. Its real purpose? It isn't just physical. It's all about psychological integration. Think of it like the engine that's driving you toward becoming your most authentic, whole self.
Okay, so if it's not just physical, then what is it? What's really going on? This is where we start to decode the secret language of our own psyche, that hidden longing of the soul. Think about it. Every time you feel that intense, magnetic pull towards someone, there's a kind of disconnect, right? Your conscious mind, your ego, is screaming, "I want that person." But underneath all that noise, your unconscious is whispering a much, much deeper message. It's saying, "I want to become whole."
And, this points to a huge modern dilemma. We're basically encouraged to just constantly discharge this energy, right? We're chasing stimulation, we're confusing intensity with real intimacy. But what happens? The more we consume, the more empty we end up feeling. That emptiness, it's not a failure, it's a signal. It's a cry from your own psyche for something deeper, for real meaning.
So have you ever wondered why that initial attraction can feel so incredibly powerful, almost like destiny? Well, Jung had a name for this: projection. What's happening is that we're literally seeing a lost or maybe just an underdeveloped piece of our own soul in another person. He called it the anima or animus, our inner feminine or masculine. So in a way, you're not really falling for them. You're falling in love with the reflection of yourself.
And this is the crucial point. As long as we believe that the thing we're looking for is out there, in another person, we just stay trapped. We get stuck in this endless cycle of chasing illusions. The real work, the real freedom, comes from reclaiming that projection. It's about finding that magical quality inside of yourself. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we take all that energy and redirect it inward? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. It requires a kind of inner alchemy. You know how the old alchemists wanted to turn lead into gold? Well, that was really just a metaphor for inner transformation. And for Jung, this alchemical process starts with two things: awareness and containment. That just means learning to observe and hold the energy without immediately acting on it. And when you do that, it inevitably leads to confrontation. You have to face the difficult feelings, the shadow stuff that this energy stirs up. And then finally comes integration. This is where you reclaim those parts of yourself and really own your personal power.
Now, it is so important to get this straight. This is not about repression. It's not about shame or denying yourself. It's actually the complete opposite. It's about building the inner strength, the capacity to sit in the fire of your own desire and let it transform you from the inside out. And look, this journey isn't always pretty. In fact, it can get messy. This raw energy, it's going to bring up everything you've pushed down, your old wounds, your deepest needs, your jealousy. But like Jung famously said, that's where the gold is. That's where the real work happens. Making that darkness conscious is the only way to get to true wholeness.
So what happens when you actually go through this difficult inner work? What's the payoff? Well, the rewards are pretty profound, and they often show up as a kind of genuine, authentic charisma. While for one, when you stop leaking your energy everywhere, you become anchored in your own self. Your presence becomes magnetic, but not because you're trying to be, not a performance, but because it's real.
You start to feel this sense of fullness that comes from within. And your desire, it changes. It stops being this blind craving and turns into a finely tuned compass, guiding you toward what's actually authentic for you.
And this completely changes how you relate to other people. See, unconscious attraction is all about fantasy, obsession, this feeling that you need someone else to complete you. And it just leads to the same old repetitive patterns. But conscious connection, that's grounded in truth, in presence. It isn't looking for a missing half. It's looking for a mirror to its own wholeness. And that is what leads to real growth, to evolution.
Okay, I know this can all sound a little big, maybe a bit abstract, but the whole journey, it really starts with just one single, simple, conscious step that you can take, like, right now.
So here's a simple practice you can experiment with. The very next time you feel that energy rise up, just pause. That's it. Don't immediately reach for your phone or some other distraction. Instead, just sit with the raw sensation in your body. Breathe into it with no judgment. And then quietly ask yourself, what does this energy want to become if I don't try to control it? Seriously, you might be amazed at the insights, the images, the clarity that can come up when you just give it a little space.
And hey, another way to work with this is to give this potent energy some kind of form through creativity. Again, this isn't about suppressing it, it's about honoring it. So maybe you channel it into a journal, or you paint something, or you dance. When you do that, you're transforming that raw energy into something meaningful, something sacred.
Ultimately, this just reframes our entire understanding, doesn't it? When you approach it with awareness, with a bit of reverence, this fundamental part of being human isn't a distraction from a spiritual life at all. It is the path.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. This energy can be your greatest teacher, if you let it. The only question is, are you going to keep searching for fulfillment in things and people outside of yourself? Or are you finally ready to begin the real adventure, the one that leads back home to your own soul?